Hello everyone. This presentation is a series of examples that use either one-point perspective or two-point perspective. In our first example, you're looking at a painting by Richard Estes of the Williamsburg Bridge from 1995. He is an American photorealist painter. And I think you'll agree with me when I say that this painting is very realistic because of the use of perspective as well as color, light, value, and texture. This painting gives you an illusion of depth through the use of perspective and the convergent lines of the horizontal objects that appear to come to a single vanishing point towards the center of the canvas. One-point perspective utilizes a single vanishing point like you see here in this top example. You have a horizon line or eye level line. The sides of the road appear as if they converge at that single vanishing point. In Richard Estes' painting, this diagram shows you where these lines of horizontal structure on this bridge appear to converge. In two-point perspective, you would have two vanishing points applied to your eye level or horizon line. Remember, in linear perspective, you're always establishing where your eye level is. Sometimes eye level is referred to as horizon line. You will always need vanishing points, and these points act as a reference to help you draw parallel lines that are moving or receding in space. Now, some perspective drawings, like this example here, the third one on the left, you can have multiple objects in a drawing moving at various angles. And in this example, you have 4 different vanishing points. So in a complex drawing, such as a still life that would have maybe a chair, table, windows, bookcases, and other objects, you would probably establish multiple vanishing points. But the principle of perspective would remain the same, that an object is going to have a top and a bottom in effect, 2 parallel lines that define it that need to move together in space evenly. And that's why you establish this vanishing point, to keep these lines moving together in the same direction. Now in Raphael's fresco, The School of Athens, you can clearly see the use through the architectural elements of linear one-point perspective. Perspective is usually used to define man-made objects like architecture or perhaps furniture. The figures in this fresco are organic shapes, and they don't necessarily require perspective, but they do require proportion, which we'll discuss in a different assignment. In Raphael's fresco, you can see the vanishing point is towards the center of the fresco between the 2 main figures. Those 2 main figures that you see where the vanishing point exists are Plato on the left and Aristotle on the right. The word Renaissance means rebirth, and in the Renaissance period, artists were very interested in not only perhaps the more emotional, expressive side of art, but the mechanical side of art, the more scientific or technical side. And perspective was developed during the Renaissance era. And by the way, the word Renaissance literally means rebirth. Now fast forward a few hundred years to Paris. And during the mid-1800s to early 1900s, there's a group of artists working in a style that later becomes known as Impressionism. And in this example by Gustav Caillebotte, you can clearly see in the background a city building that is utilizing two-point perspective. You can see where the eye level is established and where the vanishing points would be in relationship to this building. Edward Hopper is an American artist, and this example is a bit unusual in that your eye level is rather low within the established picture plane. Your picture plane would be the edges of the canvas or paper or computer screen you're working in. Please refer to your glossary and go over the vocabulary so when I'm giving you these lectures and presentations, it's easy for you to follow along and understand. The vanishing points in this particular example are outside the actual picture plane. Because the eye level line is low, because the viewer is down the hill looking up at the lighthouse. These architectural features are reliant on the use of perspective to have accuracy and give the viewer a sense of depth and realism. The importance of eye level cannot be emphasized enough in all drawings, no matter if you're drawing organic shapes or geometric shapes. It's necessary to observe and note the eye level in anything you're drawing. What we will draw this week in Illustrator are two cubes, as this example shows you, above and below eye level. And there's a different video that is a tutorial that walks you through the process to build this particular Illustrator file, which will help you gain an understanding of how to use perspective.